What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Dauntless Outdoors. Today's episode, we're diving at Bradenton, Florida. The goal of today's episode is to shoot some gags. It's December 31st. Water temp is 64. We got Ben, Dad, and Gabe. Nice to know the owner and mom. It's very cold. Nobody's really feeling it right now, but I'm ready to shoot some fish, so we're gonna catch you in the water. How's it going, y'all? Just got to the first spot. We are in about 45 to 50 foot here, diving a little ledge, and we're obviously just trying to shoot some gags and stuff like that right before the season closes. So headed down to the bottom, just gonna check the area out, see what's going on. Nobody has dove yet, so it's kind of a very fresh ledge right now. And the first thing I like to do is kind of just make sure there's no fish directly below me as I'm headed down to the bottom. If there isn't, I'll typically take one of the first shots on a bigger fish that I see, and if I'm not seeing anything that's pretty big, I'll just keep moving on. But as you saw, as soon as I got to the bottom, hogfish swam right up to me, got really curious. Sometimes there will be gags waiting out in the sand or whatnot, but I didn't see anything like that. The viz wasn't good enough to just look around, so took the shot on that hogfish and landed a pretty nice one. So now I'm going back down. I think Gabe and Ben both shot a gag. So those gags that were sitting out in the sand or wherever they were sitting on top of the ledge, whatnot, are now going to be under the actual ledge. So I decided it was time to go look up under there and actually see if I could find something of quality size up under there. So as you see, pretty nice sized Goliath grouper there, and I slowed this down. There's a big gag right there. Slowed it down just to make sure you could really see him. So my plan of action here is to move as slowly in a circle as I can, trying not to spook that fish. It is very cold water, which is why this fish really didn't move. Typically we don't get this good of a shot on him, but as you see, look up under there with my gun ready to shoot, got my thumb on the trigger, and as soon as I look under there and I can actually see the fish, take the shot. And typically I would try and get a fish out on one dive, but I knew I had a good enough shot, and if I disturbed that Goliath grouper, he was going to move around, so I decided it was better to just head up to the surface. I just shot a fat gag. So I got a good holding shot, and I know that fish is stuck up under this ledge. I was going to bring another gun down with me, which is what I typically would do, just in case there's fish sitting around the hole, or there's fish actually under the ledge as well. But I decided it was smarter because I had to crawl up under this ledge. I decided it was just easier not to have a gun with me. So as you see, I shine my light up under here. You really can't see that fish right now, but start pulling on him. He's kind of stuck still, and the shaft is stuck behind him. So I just get to a point where I have a little bit more leverage on this fish. Get out there, grab him by the gills, so I'm not going to actually pull the shaft through him or whatnot, and then actually start pulling on the fish. So get that fish free. Unfortunately, I did hit a small mangrove snapper behind it. There's nothing I can do about that, but head on up to the surface. My first gag of the day. I think this one ended up being just about 17 pounds. So definitely a pretty nice gag. So now we're at a different spot. On my way over here in the boat, I actually told everyone, whoever takes the first dive here is going to get a really nice fish, just because I've dove this ledge a good bit, but I hadn't been there in a while. So as I'm headed down, this thing just looks really good. It's a tabletop ledge and about 50 foot as well, and there's gags sitting out in the sand, a ton of them. I hadn't seen anything big yet at this point, so I decided it was just smarter to go down to the bottom and hopefully attract one that's a little bit bigger than all the rest. So I get down here, look around, and as soon as I look to my left, spot a pretty nice one behind another gag. So my plan of action is to look down to the sand, hopefully not spook this fish, and just slowly approach him. Just get in and into range. And see that smaller gag move out of the way, take the shot, and no, I've got a really good landing shot. But I slowed it down and zoomed in a little bit so you can see that gag. Spooks out of the way, and there's a nice one sitting behind him. So go over here, and since I'm pretty fresh and I just got down to the bottom, I decided it was a pretty good idea to not let that gag get all stuck up under those rocks. So grab the fish. Typically I like to actually hold him, but I had a shooting line on the other side, so I just tugged him out of those rocks and headed up to the surface. Got my second gag of the day.
Any more?
Just a bunch of them. This is the biggest, but
I heard the clinking around. Was he clinking?
oh, he was clinking.
I could have sworn I heard clinking.
Oh, he was clinking. Alrighty, y'all. Just got back to the house. Ended up getting 3 pretty nice hogs. Got one on my first dive, and then 6 nice gags. I got a 15.6 and a 17.1. Both were the same length at 31.5. Not bad. Ended up doing pretty good with the boys. So probably a 5-6 hour trip. Nothing too long, but ended up having a good time. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe. We'll catch you in the next one.